In this episode, we search for a reliable, low-maintenance vehicle under 50,000 Rand.
We help a frequent commuter find a reliable and economical vehicle with off-road capabilities.
We guide a viewer on whether his spark plugs need replacement.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. Every week we try to provide you with useful advice, whether it relates to buying, selling or maintaining a vehicle. If you have a question for the team, you can send an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za containing as much information as possible, as well as a nice picture of yourself.
And joining us in studio to help resolve those troubling automotive issues is Gift Makoti from Gifted Media and Mambo from Mambo Repairs. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back, guys. Good to see you back here again.
All right, let's get into our first question, which comes from 25-year-old Jacob. He's looking for a reliable, fuel-efficient car with low maintenance costs for under 50,000 Rand. He's considering the 2007 Honda Jazz, but wants advice on whether it suits his needs. Key priorities include fuel efficiency, reliability, comfort for long drives, and enough luggage space. But gentlemen, I just want to read exactly what he wants here. He also wants all-terrain capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for 50K, I know what my suggestion would be.
Yeah.
But let's start with your Gift.
I'm not sure about all the all-terrain capabilities. I see you listed a number of things.
Yes, that he wants from.
But from that budget, I'm not sure whether you'll get all of that. My first thought when I saw 50K, and I had to think of Toyota, and that was the Corolla from between 2006 to 2008-ish. Obviously, you probably have to have
a bicycle.
Yeah, also maybe need to have like an extra 10K to improve the suspension, because you're not going to get that car less than 200,000 Ks at 50,000 Rand. No ways.
Not for what he wants in the vehicle.
Mambo?
Yeah, I think 50,000 is a very low budget. Rather use it as a deposit for a vehicle that costs 80,000 to 100,000 Rand. Otherwise, if he's really strict with the 50,000, I think I'd recommend a Hyundai Getz. That's something reliable for less than 50,000 Rand.
So, in terms of Honda Jazz, I think it's a perfect choice for him within his budget. You do find them for around about 50,000 Rand. But like you said, Gift, they're going to be well over 200,000 Ks, which is fine because they can do 400,000 Ks.
Yeah.
It will be perfect for running around town, going on your trips, good fuel consumption, reliable. The only issue is you said capable for all-terrain. While a 4x4 isn't necessary, it should handle African road conditions. And we know what African road conditions are. Our roads are most of them, especially in the rural areas.
Yeah.
So, but like we've all said, your 50,000 Rand budget, unfortunately, is not going to get you a vehicle that's going to do that bad road situation. It'll do the dirt roads and stuff like that. So it's a great vehicle for most probably 90% of the driving that you're going to do.
Yeah, 100%.
The other 10% is going to be an issue. And it's not only the Jazz, there's nothing you're going to buy for 50 grand that will have off-road capabilities. If you find something that can do off-road capabilities, 4x4 or whatever, for 50 grand, it's not going to get you there.
I even tried.
It's going to be
I tried getting a horse for him. No horses available for 50 grand.
Donkey and a donkey and a bicycle.
But if he's looking, like you said, Adam, for 90% of his needs, the Honda Jazz is the perfect motor vehicle.
Yeah, for that. But
for that, for his what he requires.
Yeah.
But it's
Honda
not going to do
Jazz.
that bad roads. But I mean, if you're driving on dirt roads, it's fine. If the roads aren't that good, you've got to drive it slowly. Most cars will get there. You're going to knock things underneath.
Yeah,
But
you're going to lose a lot of your.
But there's not many
plates and
better cars in terms of long-term reliability for average day-to-day driving than a Honda Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next question, which is from Katlejo, who currently owns a Renault Kwid with 78,000 Ks on it.
Made it, eh? Made it.
He made it that far.
Pushed it.
He's unsure about the engine's longevity. He's considering trading it in for a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, he's going from bad to worse, eh?
He's got a budget of 250,000 Rand. Is this a good decision, or are there better alternatives within his budget that he should consider? Mambo?
250,000 is a very healthy budget. That's what I would say. But considering a Mini Cooper when you have something as small as a Renault Kwid already, I don't think that's a good and wise decision. He can actually get himself maybe a Starlet, which is a 2024 model, for that price.
He wants something cool, obviously, Gift.
Cool. I'll stick to the alternative from the Starlet, the Baleno. If you find one with less than 20,000 Ks, 2023, 2024 model, it will comes packed with features, heads-up display, Apple CarPlay, and all of that. Clearly, he loves small cars. If he wants to move from a Quid to a Mini.
Good to a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think either the Swift or the Baleno, but I'll vote for the Baleno. I mean, 250K is a
You
handsome
could
budget.
buy a brand new Swift.
Yeah, could buy a
Yeah.
brand new Swift for
Brand new, yeah.
250K. Yeah.
The Mini's a cool car. It's funky, it looks nice, it's got a great image to it, but damn expensive to maintain. And, you know, if you don't, for 250,000 Rand, you're not buying, you know, one that's like a year old. You're buying something that's a couple of years old, out of warranty, when it's starting to break. So you're going to have problems with it. Mamba, do you agree with it?
Yeah, definitely. The Mini Cooper he would get for this price is probably 2015 going upwards.
Yeah, like an R56 model.
Not something.
It's already heading down that road. We
Yeah.
all know.
And it's a
too
cool
well.
car, like you
favorite
said.
road.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
are
been
cool
driven.
cars. I love driving Minis, but I wouldn't want to own one because of the expensive maintenance, and I own a workshop. so
But
you
I
can
just want to
imagine.
say, if he's going from a Renault Quid, anything is better than that.
Yeah, look,
He's moving
78,000
from a
Ks.
Renault Quid.
He's got a lot of options.
He's got loads of options. And you know, for 250K, like you guys mentioned, Suzuki Swift is my first option.
Yeah.
Suzuki Swift is my first, and he'll get a newer one.
You'll get the brand new
He'll
one.
probably get a brand new one.
The-
I
the
think the
latest
newer one,
spec.
brand new one's about 280
Hey?
now. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the top of the range
Yeah.
version, but for 250, you're going to get the brand new spec version.
new spec Suzuki Swift. Yeah,
And-
comes with a maintenance
And that looks
service
cool.
plan.
Yeah.
And that's a cool looking car.
Yeah, and Baleno starts at 260 plus, so you just probably need to spend 16K to 17K more. get a
Yes,
brand
and
new
you get a
Baleno.
bigger car. Yes,
And you get a bigger car. You
Yeah.
get more car for,
If you want something bigger, if you want something smaller,
yeah.
you know, the Swift is,
Swift,
is a great option. I think go and have a look at those. Stay away from the Mini. The Renault Quid, you've done 78,000 Ks and you'll get reasonable money for it because it's not a high mileage unit. It's a fairly low mileage unit. And driving a Suzuki Swift will be a massive improvement on that Renault.
I think there's no words to describe how big an improvement it'll be.
Yeah.
Massive just doesn't put it there. Anyway, stay tuned because after the break, we'll help a frequent commuter find a reliable and economical vehicle with off-road capabilities.
We help a 20-year-old Forex trader considering purchasing a BMW M2 as his first car. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. KD, a frequent commuter between Belito and Pietermaritzburg, needs a reliable, economical and safe vehicle to replace his Jetta 1.4 TSI with 310,000 Ks on it. He also requires off-road capability for road trips to the Berg and Mozambique. So he's got a budget of 550,000 Rand. He's considering a demo Ford Ranger for its fuel economy, but he's open to alternative recommendations. Gift?
Firstly, I think these people want off-road capabilities. I think they're just referring to potholes and everything. That's
He said he wants to go to like Mozambique and stuff like that.
yeah, but predominantly he's probably going to be driving around. But anyway, I would first of all congrats, 310,000 kilometers on that.
He should get a medal from Volkswagen.
Yeah, they probably must give him a
But he
help
didn't
with the
tell you guys how many times he had the
okay,
gearbox issue.
okay,
all
fair,
right?
fair point. I think it's a beautiful budget. I think the XL or the Isuzu will be a best option for this person. I mean, the Isuzu also is bulletproof, drives long distance. You can keep it forever. Engine is bulletproof and it's strong and durable. So I think that'll be an alternative if he doesn't go for the XL.
Remember?
Yeah, I'd say as well he's got a pretty much very good and healthy budget. 550,000 is a very nice budget.
Yeah.
For that amount, I would recommend a 2023 Amarok with less than 40,000 kilometers.
That's the
probably a
previous
demo.
generation, the one without the Ford engine.
Yeah.
Not the Ford one.
No, the new ones.
The new shape
The
one,
new ones,
which
yeah.
is a Ford.
Yeah, so
Not
he
a
can get,
Volkswagen
he can get
Amarok.
himself. He can get
That's
himself.
He
another
has a
Ford
Ford Volkswagen.
Yeah, he can get himself a
It's a
nice.
Volkswagen.
He can get a Amma Ranger.
I'm a Ranger or
Yeah.
a Volkswagen. Yeah, so look, I like the new Ranger. I think it's a fantastic car to drive. It's most probably the most comfortable and the most tech-savvy bakkie out there at the moment. And it's a really lovely vehicle to drive. If you're going to buy it under warranty, if you've got any issues, obviously those things get sorted out for you. You mentioned the Isuzu. The Isuzu is long-term really good in terms of maintenance costs, and they're very low and cheap to run. Very much like the Toyotas. I would say, look at a Hilux. But there's obviously, we have to, the elephant in the room, they do steal them. But if you're not bothered by that, some people don't, in certain areas it's not an issue. The theft isn't an issue depending on where you live. So, the Hilux is also excellent. The Ranger, I mean, it does have its theft issues, but not so much the new ones, more the previous generation ones.
Sure.
You've got 550,000 Rand. You can go out and buy quite a few things like GWMs. You can buy JACs, which actually aren't bad at all. And you're going to get brand spanking new with good warranties. So there's a lot of vehicles you
But just
get in that
to
range.
jump in there, Adam, yes, you get all that with the Chinese vehicles, like you said.
Yeah.
But I just think until they've proven themselves in the market,
Yeah.
I think he should just stick with what he's got now. But I would not even think of a Ford. Never.
You're not a fan of
I'm
them?
not a fan of Ford. No. I know you guys always saying how great it is and whatever.
Yeah.
But I see them parked on the side of the road all the time. I've had clients leave them on the side of the road and just walk into a Toyota dealership and buy a new Hilux and leave his Ford Ranger on the side of the road because there's no backup. Nobody wants to help them with their problems. I've had plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. So I'm not a fan of the Ford.
Look,
So I'd suggest to him, he wants a double cab, the Toyota double cab, the Mitsubishi
Get a 2.4.
Titan,
Yeah.
the Navara. There's so many other options out there.
Sure.
If he's, instead of the Ford. Well, I'm just, that's just my opinion, guys.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
not a Ford fan.
I beg to differ. 'Cause
I'm not a Ford fan,
I
I've
vote
seen-
for the Ford as well.
I've seen with problems with every manufacturer. So,
Well,
1.1 in this particular case is, I would go out and buy the Ranger because I like
what's
the
your
car.
surname again?
My surname is Ford. Got nothing to do with that at all. I wish I was a relation. I wouldn't be working here. I'd be on an island somewhere enjoying my trust fund.
All right, guys. So, Mambo, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'd stick to my Armor Ranger.
I'm a Ranger, yes.
Yeah, I'd stick to the Armor
Gift?
Ranger.
I'll stick to the Armor Ranger, but in a Ford skin. So I'll stick to the.
And Adam wants a
Careful
Ford
how
as
you
well.
say that.
You know,
Yes.
I would suggest to him, with all the options there out there, he needs to go drive all of them and see which one he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because 550K is a lot of money to just go and just spend
buys
one
you a lot of
vehicle
options.
without, yes.
There are lots of options. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't got bad options here at all.
Yeah.
Right, our next question is from Jeff. He's returning to South Africa after 2 years in Germany. Welcome back, Jeff. And he seeks a mid-size SUV within a 600,000 Rand cash budget. Priorities: power, luxury, and towing capability for camping. He's considering the Mazda CX-5, Ford Territory, Volvo XC60, or Isuzu D-Max. While 4x4 isn't necessary, he values driving enjoyment. He's not open to any Korean or Chinese brands.
But he said Ford Territory. Do you not know the Ford Territory is a
Made in
Chinese
China.
vehicle?
Yeah.
Remember, what did you go for here?
I think you'll have got some very wonderful people with some very good budgets this time around. And an all-wheel drive XC60 would meet all of his requirements and everything that he wants. It's a great buy. Volvos are also very safe since he's going to be traveling with his family. But I'd also ask him to consider a BMW with a 2-liter X-Drive engine or a 3-liter X-Drive engines. Those have got really great towing capacity. I'd recommend maybe those.
Gift?
I totally agree with Mambo there. Especially on the latter, BMW's 3 liters with X-Drive, either the G01 X3s or you can even look at the X1s, the all-wheel drive, not the front-wheel drives. Or he can also look at the Isuzu. I think he also mentioned.
1.9, yeah.
Yeah, he can look at that.
Remember, he said he's going to tow a caravan and go camping and off-road capability.
But the main thing is that he says he wants power and luxury.
Yeah,
So-
and that's a combination
That
of
power and
both.
luxury, I don't know how he puts a CX-5 in there.
Well-
CX-5 is a nice car, I like it.
Yeah, but
it's
no-
an awesome vehicle.
Sure.
But if he wants that luxury factor, you won't put that in a luxury
Yeah.
car.
I don't know. I
But it's
disagree.
very much modern inside.
I think the CX-5, especially the new ones, if you get a 2.2 diesel in the CX-5, it's the all-wheel drive version is going to be great. But on my list here, I agree 100% with Mambo. I wrote here X3, 2-liter or 3-liter diesel. And I'll tell you why. If you can get a 3-liter, they are a bit scarce. You get the G01 series, which is the new spec one. You'll find one in that sort of 600,000 Rand budget.
Yeah.
It maybe have like 70, 80,000 Ks on it, so it may still have a little bit of warranty in it. If you can get a 2-liter diesel, it's more than enough power if you can't find a 3-liter. It'll be all-wheel drive. And the nice thing about it, if you're running around the country, there's lots of BMW dealers around. So if you do have any sort of issues, you can get them resolved. The Volvo, it's a great car as well, but they don't have the dealer backup that the BMW has. So if you had those two options, I'd say look at the X3, because also future resale value, backup, in terms of parts availability for BMW, lots of scrap yards that if you want, like, I'll give you an example. They've got LED headlights. If one LED headlight fails, you can't change a bulb in it. You must put a whole new headlight, which is 30,000-40,000 Rand for one headlight. So if you have that instance, you can always go to a scrapyard and say, oh, I need a headlight. And you're going to buy one for, say, 10,000, 15,000 Rand.
I like
those are those options.
Point me at that scrapyard, please.
Yeah, but
They
you know what
want
I'm
for
saying?
20 grand.
I don't know what the pricing is, but it's going to be cheaper as opposed to being
Okay,
stuck
but
with
I
the
want
dealer.
to point something out to you guys. You're recommending BMWs, right? You know where this gentleman's just come back from?
Germany. So they
Why wouldn't he put it in his budget?
before
He's
he left-
probably already experienced this.
I mean,
And
he
he
used to
knows
drive a Volvo.
BM
yeah.
So maybe that's why he slotted Volvo in again, because he probably had to sell it before he left as to become an
Yes.
expert in other countries.
Volvo, but not BMW. He's not too thrilled with the German product.
Maybe not.
So I like it. You know, if he wants a XC60, 2021 XC60, that's not a bad vehicle as well,
great car.
as Mambo said.
Yeah.
He should, look at that.
There's-
But I like the BMW options, but I'd like to know why he never included it in.
Maybe he forgot. Who cares?
Fair point.
But the X3 again and the XC60 are both all-wheel drive versions. And if you're towing something, you always get that better stability on the road.
Yes.
It's a pity we don't have Brendan Staniforth here today from Marula Media,
To
because
tell us.
he's the guru on when it comes
On
to
towing,
towing stuff, and he'll tell you what is good and bad. But that X3, I think, should be top of your list. If you're not a fan of the BMW because you didn't put it in your list, Volvo would be next for us. We'll be taking a short break, but when we get back, we guide a viewer on whether his spark plugs need replacement.
And we examine a Mazda B-Series bakkie with stiff gear changes. Hello and thank you for tuning in to Buyer's Guide. Nuresh, the owner of a 2020 Kia Rio with approximately 40,000 kilometers on the clock. He was told during the car's fourth service that moisture was found on the plugs, though it's unclear if they were referring to the spark plugs or just the plugs on the wires. While the technicians cleaned the plugs and didn't recommend replacement, Nuresh seeks advice on whether this moisture is normal and if the spark plugs might need replacement soon. You know, Mambo, I don't know about you and what you see in your workshop, but regularly I've told clients, it doesn't matter if the engine is slightly dirty, but with the modern cars, taking a high pressure hose and just spraying the engine just
Recipe
because you like a clean engine
Yeah.
is a no-no.
Definitely.
I don't know. I do it every day. We never have problems.
Whether idling or not.
Never problems.
You know why? You know how to wash it. Yeah.
You know what,
What
to
do you
stay
think?
You
away
know what to cover, you know what to
Yeah.
stay away from.
Let's
So,
get back to the question.
yeah.
Let's assume there are spark plugs and they had moisture on it.
So with regards to Niresh, only three contaminants can make moisture on the spark plugs. It's your coolant, it's your fuel, as well as oil. So he can also diagnose the vehicle himself, believe it or not. He can drive his vehicle
Please,
and
please,
see.
don't recommend that.
wait. No, it's a dummy-proof way to diagnose your vehicle yourself. If you do suspect that moisture is coming into your combustion chamber, just watch and see if you're getting a shortage of coolant, maybe after 500 Ks, or a shortage of oil, and you don't know where it's going after 500 Ks, then that moisture could be coming from your oil or your coolant.
I mean, in terms of the spark plugs on that car, I mean, again, at some stage you could have been driving through rain, can come through into the engine compartment, a little bit of moisture can get on the spark plugs. It's not a problem. Do you need to replace them because they have moisture on them? Yes and no.
It's advisable,
really.
but not necessary.
But this is for all our viewers. If you have a problem like this and you're at the dealer, ask them for their advice, because and you make things clear, because like we're not too sure, are you talking about spark plugs or are you talking about the electrical connections, because you get plugs that
With moisture.
join the wiring harnesses that get sometimes moisture in them through rain, through washing engines and so forth. So you need to clarify with the dealer what the problem is. Ask them, because they're there on your car working. They know exactly. We're here and we are taking some tuck idea of what you're telling us about. So I don't think it's an issue. And if spark plugs are so cheap that, should I change them, shouldn't I change them? Change the damn thing.
Change the damn spark plugs. Yeah.
Simple as that.
If it is spark plugs.
Yeah, a couple $100,
I would have recommended to change the spark plugs and then monitor on the next service.
Yeah, sometimes you want to tell your technicians, just don't tell the customer too much useless information. Your spark plugs are wet, the guy panics. Just leave it out. Fine.
Yeah.
We dry them, it's fine. Okay, we're going to wrap up things with a question from Ziad. Now, his parents own a 2007 Mazda B-Series B-2500 Drifter. It's only got 89,000 k's on the clock. The issue arises when the car is warm. First gear becomes difficult to engage and at a stop, especially the traffic lights, while other gears function smoothly. Occasionally, they must roll in second gear or turn the engine off to engage first gear. Is this a common issue with the Drifter? And what potential cause might be despite the clutch being relatively new? Remember?
He mentioned a very key point of there, when the car is warm.
Warm, yeah.
So it's either that when he did his clutch, as he said, his clutch is relatively new, they might have put gearbox oil with the wrong viscosity.
Yeah.
So they need to check the oil if they did top it up to the correct level, and they need to check if they used the correct oil for the vehicle
so
as
the
well.
viscosity you're talking about there,
The thickness of the oil.
Basically, for our viewers, is the thickness of the oil. If it's too thick, it becomes difficult to engage.
Yeah, so we're talking about the thickness of oil. Another issue is that the gearbox could be overheating. Another one, the third point could be you need the gearbox to be checked out. So if your gear linkages are fine, as well as your gear oil is also fine, you use the OEM recommended gear oil, then you need to get your gearbox checked by professionals.
Yeah.
If this clutch is new, like he says it is, or we don't know, relatively new, you don't know if it's put a recon unit or what.
Yeah.
When the clutch gets hot, and I've found this on a couple of units, is that the pressure plate sometimes doesn't release the clutch plate off the flywheel sufficiently for him to get into one.
Yeah.
And that's why he's having a problem only when hot and when it's getting in, when he's trying to engage number one. And then he can switch the vehicle off, get one, depress the clutch and start and move.
One thing we haven't mentioned, which we should mention here as well, is that the system is a hydraulic system.
Hydraulic system,
Actually works the clutch, it's not a cable.
So the
And
slave
sometimes it
or
can be
master
an
cylinder.
adjustment on the clutch pedal. There is a little bit of adjustment on those Mazdas to take up the play there. It could be a faulty clutch master cylinder or a faulty slave cylinder if there's any leaks. So it's like Mambo says, take it to professional, let them check it out for you. I don't think it's anything serious. I think you must probably find it's just an adjustment or maybe there's a slight leak from the hydraulic system and get that sorted out. Gift, is there anything you want to throw in
No,
there? You leave it up to the technical guys.
Yes, I
And that's not Adam and I. We're talking about Mambo being the technical guy.
Whatever I
I've
said,
learned-
copy and paste.
Yeah, I learned viscosity today, so I can knock
I
off.
can't even spell it.
And with that, we've come to the end of this week's show. Thank you, Gift and Mambo, for joining us and all your useful advice. Thank you, gentlemen.
Until next time, please buckle up and stay safe on the roads.